Hey, what's up, good people? It's Jay Ray, the co host of Q Points, and I wanted to come to you because there are two really important ways that you can support our show. One is by subscribing to it wherever you listen to or watch your podcasts. Q Points is pretty much everywhere. The other thing that you can do is you can visit us on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, and on Podchaser, and you can leave us a star rating. Please rate us 5 stars because you know you love Q Points. And on Apple Podcasts and on Podchaser, you can actually leave us a written review. It's not required, but it really does help to spread the word about the show, and it helps people to discover it as they're looking for new podcasts to listen to. We're always appreciative of you supporting Q Points. We thank you so much for all that you've done for us so far, and enjoy the show.
Welcome back to another episode of Q Points Podcast, dropping the needle on Black music history. I am your super duper fly, super duper friend, DJ Sir Daniel.
And my name is Jay Ray, y'all. Sometimes known by my government as Johnny Ray Cornegay III. What's happening, people?
Listen, it is an amazing time, some amazing news that we're here to share with you and discuss on this episode. We've got a lot of things to be thankful for, a lot of things to be grateful for. Safety being one of them, especially in light of the things that have been happening, especially here in my backyard of Atlanta.
Yes.
You know, we recently had these shootings. This young man that apparently needs help, and that's a whole nother story. Not for this particular podcast, but it's a conversation that truly needs to be had surrounding mental health and what is considered emotional, behavioral, disruptive behavior, and the prison to pipeline thing that we have going on here that starts way back in school. So anyway, that's enough of that. Jay Ray, how are you feeling today?
You know what? I'm feeling good personally. So I'm well. And I'm grateful for that. My family is good. We're having some weird stuff politically in my city that concern me. I also want to echo your thoughts around mental health and the guns. We've talked about this a lot on this show. Y'all gotta, the folks who have the power to do something about this gun situation must do so. And us as citizens, we do have to elect folks that really do want more control over what folks have access to guns. We got to do it, or we're gonna keep having this conversation. And I'm tired of having this conversation. What is the definition of insanity? Is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. Baby, I don't know how many thoughts and prayers y'all going to keep offering. Your prayers ain't working, so stop praying for the people. Just offer thoughts. Thoughts.
That's it.
I said my thoughts.
Because that's it. And that's that on that, J Ray. You put the you put the needle on that one. So with that said, please let our listener know how they can maintain contact with us and maintain their sanity, because we know that Q Points is what keeps you going. Yes. It keeps you thriving and surviving each and every day.
Absolutely. So listen, y'all, to stay connected to Q Points, do what you're doing right now. So if you are watching the show, make sure that you subscribe wherever you're watching. If you are listening to the show, make sure that you subscribe wherever you are listening. And if you're not, if you watch and you don't listen, you can flip. And if you listen and don't watch, you can flip too. We want you to be taking in Q Points in all the ways. But more importantly with that, the absolutely most amazing free way free way that you can support our show is by sharing it with your friends. If you are here and you love music, you love conversations, you need to be telling your people to listen to Q Points. I mean, it's the right thing to do. If you want to go a step further, you can visit our website at qpoints.com. Click the subscribe button at the top and you can become a Q Points insider. And you can even buy some merch. So if you want to go over to our store and buy some merch for your closet, you could do that as well.
Absolutely. I love how you put the little accent on
Closet.
closet right there. You know, because clothing
Mhm.
and gear has been on our mind for this whole week, because on Monday evening, if you are, oh, here's another thing. If you're not watching us on However Karma, you are missing out. We have a good time on However Karma on Instagram. But yeah, of course, we were talking about the Super Bowl of fashion, which was the Met Gala
Uh-huh.
that took place Monday evening. And of course, the celebrities that we expected to make a smash did what they came to do.
Mhm.
They ate, as
They
the kids say.
ate, as the
They ate
kids would
that.
say. You
Lots of
know,
people that stood out. Hmm.
yes, there are lots of people that stood out. I will say one of the things that has come out, we can dive more into this. The guys showed up and showed out. Black men showed up and showed out at the Met Gala.
Hmm.
Um, there was some controversy. I don't know anything about fashion, so I know who Karl Lagerfeld is
Was.
was because I know that he passed away, but I didn't know anything about the politics of Karl Lagerfeld, right? So there were a lot of people that were also reflecting on the legacy of Karl Lagerfeld and in terms of fat phobia, in terms
Hmm.
of just all of these different things around the way he showed up in fashion. I was unaware of that. So I was intrigued by those conversations happening. But of course, the Met Gala is also a music stop. If you are a hot music act, you fall through the Met Gala. And so the who's who in music, you had Janelle Monáe. Of course, you had Lizzo, all the folks. Diddy and Carisha showed up and showed out.
Oh, you
You
mean the
know,
Combses?
I don't know where they get that from.
Listen, apparently the Combses, Diddy and Carisha, have been married by the media.
Only the
Because
media.
one of these outlets referred to them as the Combses, and I thought that was richly hilarious. It's like people really want them to be a thing. I know there's a clip floating around of Diddy and Carisha being um interviewed by Lala,
Uh huh.
and Lala was like putting pressure on them to say what they were. Do we go together real bad? Are we a thing?
Not do
And
we
I'm like,
go together? Like,
and to me, it's like it's kind of a dead horse now. It's like we all know that this is an arrangement.
mhm.
This is not a relationship. This is, I mean, it is a relationship. It's a purpose. They're purpose partners. Thank you, Kipper.
Oh,
Thank you, Kipper, for posting that video of that preacher that came up with the term. Diddy and Carisha have a purpose. Diddy needs to maintain his status in the
mhm.
ballroom. I mean, in the industry, and Carisha, of course, is a young up and coming. She's hot. She's got all the attention on her, and it makes her look good to be parading around with this well known playboy. And the same thing for him. It looks good on him to have a young, hot, beautiful woman on his arm, which he is used to. That is his
Yes.
MO. And
Yes.
so why not? And I think it's the whole opposites attract, because and I don't think we would have ever thought that Carisha and Diddy would have been a thing.
Mm-mm.
But here they are, capitalizing on it, because that is their purpose. They know that they're going to get more endorsements, looks, um, downloads, likes, all that kind of stuff that means something in today's music industry. They're both going to get more of that for this type of exploited for this type of purpose partner relationship that they have. And so you know what? I don't knock them. I
Mm-mm.
get it. I
Yeah.
get it. I think it's actually kind of hilarious. I love I love her show,
Hmm.
and she really should have more episodes now. Like there's been several people that she could have interviewed by now that I think she would do really well with. And yeah, I'm in on the joke. So it doesn't phase me, but for the people that are outside the culture, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Combses. The Combs.
you know, shout out to Carisha. I can't imagine. I haven't read any interviews, but I can't imagine that she would be like thinking that, yo, I'm gonna be at the Met Gala. Like that's a thing where you like, I don't know if that's a thing, but look, she's there. She's made this career work for her. This
Mm-hmm.
relationship with Diddy is really truly, I think she's learning a lot from this because we're
Oh,
watching her
absolutely.
grow and evolve. So excited about that. Yo, from a gear standpoint, Pusha T's suit was
Loved it.
crazy. I think Tom Brown styled him as well as Janelle Monae. Like just sick in terms of the fit. Um, so yeah, there was definitely some good looks showing up at the Met Gala. It's such an extravagant evening. I'm sure it
Yeah.
takes them 1 months to get the outfits ready and then hours to get into them because they're so elaborate.
And if you're not getting into an outfit, you're just getting your body painted
Mm-hmm.
and with some drawers on, and your booty photo bombing everybody like Lil
Oh,
Nas
Lil
X.
Nas X, we love you. You are the gift that
Just
keeps on giving.
just having the time of his life, and it's like, how could you be mad at that? But
Yeah, yeah.
go ahead.
It's nice, being able to have an event where I guess, celebrities can play dress up, be fancy.
Mm-hmm.
Tiana Taylor bringing Chick-fil-A. She like, I'm not eating what they serving.
Hilarious. Did you see the clip with Usher kind of leaning in?
I did not, but I didn't watch it yet, but I saw the link, so I have to check it out.
So you can kind of tell that he edited himself. He was like, this. He almost wanted to say that. He was like, he pointed at her and was like, this. Look at this. Yeah. And of course she busted out laughing. She was like, now look, you already know what time it is.
I'ma
So
eat,
I'm
but I'ma eat not eat that.
so it's I just love to see the young people having the young people having a good time, and yeah, not hurting nobody. Speaking of being young,
Mhm,
so we're speaking listener. Okay, clearly we're all in the same age group,
mhm.
and sometimes get closer. Sometimes slang words or vernacular escapes us, and I
Yes.
know. And I know we had our own vernacular. We've come up with decades of vernacular, right?
Yes.
And the things that the young people come up with today change on the hour.
Mhm.
And sometimes, and it's okay because it happens to me, sometimes we miss out on certain things. And if we don't know, or at least what I do, if I don't know about something, I'll look it up,
Yes.
or I will quietly and not on social media ask somebody, what did they mean by that when they said
Right.
that?
Right.
What did that young person mean when they tweeted such and such, such and such? What does that stand for?
Right.
So because I want to be in the know, but I'm not at the same time, I don't want to look foolish. So apparently, I guess Lizzo had posted a picture
Mhm.
of herself in her car. I think was it Karl
Yeah,
Lagerfeld
no,
inspired outfit.
it was inspired, but I think Chanel did the
It was
actual
Chanel.
dress. Yeah.
Okay. So as all of the celebrities are doing, of course you take pictures in your
Mhm.
outfits because that's why they give you the clothes. They give you the clothes so you could post it on your social media so that their clothes can be exposed to all the millions of followers that you have. There, I'm sure is some type of financial payoff for that.
Mhm.
Beautiful. She adds her caption, "What's after seven?" The number seven. Now, listener leaning again. So we, the young people, and I think we, I think we kind of came up with this too. Is if they like to, if they want to give somebody props
Mhm.
and to acknowledge you, J Ray, I want to acknowledge you right now for the edits that you did for our latest episode of Q Points.
Yeah.
It's so clear and clean. I love it. J Ray, you ate that.
Thank you, Sir Daniel. I really appreciate that. That's like that means a lot to me.
So I just gave so I just complimented J Ray
Yep.
by saying he ate what he was doing. He adeptly and with skill completed the task that he was working on, and he did it with such finesse and such prowess that nobody else can touch him in
Yes.
whatever he has just done. He ate that,
Mhm.
meaning whatever was put on the plate in front of him, the task at hand, he cleaned the
Devoured.
plate and
Yes.
devoured it perfectly. He
Mhm.
ate all of that. So, just in case you didn't know, that's what somebody means when they say you ate that.
Right.
All right. So now fast forward, let's get back to Lizzo typing in what's after seven. So what comes numerically, what follows seven, J Ray?
8.
So Lizzo is saying that she herself ate
8. Mhm.
the outfit, ate the whole
Mhm.
look
Yep.
from head to toe. She was given an assignment to look gorgeous and she passed it with flying colors.
Yes.
She
True.
and which is true as usual. There,
Mhm.
Lizzo can do no wrong.
Right.
She
8
ate
that.
that. ATE, but you know the
Yeah.
kids are being fancy, make equivalent to the numerical
Right.
form, the number eight. All right, cool. All right, so leaning listener, you know one of our favorite R and B groups from back in the '90s, early
Mhm.
'90s till now, is a group called After
After
Seven.
7. They're amazing.
They are amazing. Their songs have been sampled.
Mhm.
You name it. Jasmine Sullivan just sampled Ready or Not for her Let
Mhm.
It Burn. If you didn't know that, that's a sample of Ready or Not by After Seven.
Mhm.
Very relevant group still to this day. Great singers. One of them is related to Babyface.
Babyface. Yep.
So, and that particular singer is Kevon Edmonds.
Correct.
Kevon went to social media
This
and I
morning.
guess saw that Lizzo Lizzo's caption about what's
What's
after
after 7?
seven. And I know our at our age, sometimes we kind of think that these kids are trying to make fun of
They're trying
us.
to come for. They're trying to come for me.
Don't they know who we are? We started this shit, you know, all of that kind of stuff, right? So Kevon, in the nicest, best possible way, said, "What's after seven? I'll show you what's after seven." Basically, and recorded a video of him
Mhm. Yeah.
singing his face off,
Of course.
right? But completely missing the mark that Lizzo wasn't really referring to the group after seven.
Mhm.
She was only referring to herself and the way she looked.
Yeah.
So I guess the lesson here is, listener, if you and I don't understand something, some new slang, let's ask quietly. Let's not do it
Yes.
on social media. Let's not make a post all up in arms about something that has nothing to do with us or with whatever, however you think it relates to you. So that was a very long way of me, describing a very funny situation to me when I figured it out. I was like, oh, damn, Kevon.
Yeah, I saw it this morning. It was one of the earlier things that I saw. And of course, he tagged Lizzo, and then there was the singing. And I'm like, what is this in reference to? Like, I couldn't get the connection. And then I went to Lizzo's page, and of course I read the caption, and I'm like, what's after seven? Like eight? Like she ate that. Oh, you didn't get it. And
Oh,
I'm like,
you
and she was
know,
like eating in the thing, and I'm like in this fabulous outfit. I'm like, no, she's like, I ate that. Yes,
yeah,
Lizzo, you did eat that. And Kevon, she was talking about ate. She ate the outfit
yeah.
for the Met.
It's okay. It's
It's all
okay,
right.
Kevon.
It's
It's
okay.
okay. It's okay, listener. It's like, we've all had to tell our parents, so show our parents how to use Zoom, how to use all kinds of stuff like that. It's okay. We can show you how to use slang as well.
Absolutely. I remember when, when we were young and hip hop was, evolving,
Mm-hmm.
there was all of our words: chill, dope,
Yes.
ill. I could go on and on. And I remember my parents specifically, like, dope was a interesting one for them, because it
Oh
was
yeah.
like dope, and I'm like, no, not that dope, good
Mm-hmm.
dope. And it took a second for some of our words to land.
It's hilarious. It's also hilarious when you think about it, but when you gotta take it with a grain of salt and look at it. You know what? That is kind of funny,
Hmm.
and just hopefully they can laugh at themselves and they can laugh with each other. Who knows? Maybe Lizzo will play flute on a new After
That would
Seven
be
joint.
great. Oh my god, I want that to happen so bad.
Matter of
Uh,
fact, they probably need to drop an EP.
yes, After Seven definitely needs to drop an EP. Call it eight. After Seven, drop your EP. Call it eight. That would be. I promise y'all. After
Eight After
Seven,
Seven.
After Seven needs to drop an EP called Eight. Even if it ain't your eight, it's not related to that. It ain't your eighth release. It's just
Ooh,
called Eight.
ooh, J
Mm-hmm.
Ray, they might. You dropped a gem on that one. They owe you a check for that one. They owe you a check.
Listen, come on, y'all. Do this thing. Let's make this coin in the world and whatnot.
So I think if you listen to the intro, I refer to myself as a super duper fly super friend, and the reason I did that was because I was in such a great mood today when I heard the news about the 2023 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees,
Oh,
and high on that list was one Melissa Elliott,
yeah.
aka Missy Misdemeanor Elliott, the first
Yeah.
female rapper, producer, songwriter, rapper
Mm-hmm.
inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Man, this is big news. Missy, listen, you cannot front on, and if you try, you cannot. This proves she was inducted during her first available year.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all, that so rarely happens. So many of the artists we love have had to go through multiple tries to get in. This is Missy's first available opportunity. She got into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And when I thought about it, it makes perfect sense, because as much as Missy is hip hop, she's also very rock and roll. Um
Mm-hmm.
her entire catalog influenced across the board. So it wasn't just in black music, what we would call R&B and hip hop. It was all the music. Missy, everybody was looking to a Missy joint for some inspiration. And to be the first woman inducted, first year out, my goodness, so big.
Huge. And she tweeted earlier in the day about the fact that she, of course, was overcome by emotions
Of course.
because she was just a little girl from what, Portsmouth, Virginia, or
Mm,
yeah, I believe Portsmouth, Virginia. and where things like that aren't supposed to happen to people like her.
Mm,
And imagine all of your dreams. First of all, imagine your dream of becoming a recording artist. That's one.
right.
You realize that. Then you start working with artists that you grew up listening to, like Janet Jackson.
Yep.
And you become friends with Janet Jackson.
Right.
Like, that kind of life is surreal.
Mm-hmm.
Has to be surreal. And you have, I I would imagine she has to pinch herself from time to time
Yeah.
to be like, am I really living this? Is this really happening to me? Am I hanging out with Janet Jackson? Am I friends with Lil Kim and Mary J. Blige? Am I the person that they say I am? Everybody refers to me as the GOAT.
Yep.
Am I this person? And
Yeah.
that you really have to have those moments of self-actualization, like, yes, you did do those things. Yes, you are living this dream.
Mm. Yeah. I would imagine that she has those conversations often.
Hmm.
Um And to think, Sir Daniel, she didn't even want to be out front on the mic, right? She had to be
Yeah.
convinced by her manager. It was Mona Scott Young, who was, I think, managing her through Violator at the time, that was like, no, 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 no. You need to be like out front. And she's like, no, I don't need to do a record or all of this stuff. And was convinced. She had another black woman see her and see
Mm.
her as more than this caricature that needed to stay behind the scenes or be a part of a group, right? Because that's how she started in the game. She could stand on her own 2 feet, even as she was standing beside this super producer that people, you know, I can't imagine what that's like, right? To be standing next to this person that people revere and be like, okay, no, I got this too. I have something to say and to do.
Yeah.
Um, she's so deserving. And so we not only have her, we have so many people that have gotten,
Can I say one thing before we move
please.
on to the others? One other thing that this does that Missy has done before, but one other thing that this is going to do, this induction, is going to force the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame to look at the others that came before Missy
Mhm.
and hopefully induct them, because there has to be a Queen Latifah in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. There has to be a Salt and Pepper in the in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Mhm.
Has to be.
Right.
So because of her, I'm pretty certain, because Missy always reaches back
Yep.
and she's always acknowledged her foremothers. So I'm excited to see what happens in the future with that respect.
Yeah. You know what? And even thank you so much for bringing that up. Like, we need to be having those conversations about Shantae. We need to be having those conversations about Sha
Mm-hmm.
Rock. We need to, these women that really did pave the way. Like, we absolutely thank you for bringing that, because that's so true. So yeah, shout out to Missy Misdemeanor Elliott for this. And there, of course, has been rumblings about new music. Timbaland recently talked about that. I don't need any new Missy music. I would love it. She
Mm-hmm.
drops bops to me whenever she drops them, and I'm fine.
Mm-hmm.
So
Absolutely.
I'd love it.
So, but Missy, of course, was not the only
She was not.
inductee that we fell head over heels about.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we also have the voice, the instruments, Shaka Ben Khan.
Yeah.
Shaka Khan is inducted as well. Like, remember just a few weeks ago, people were trying to talk shit about Shaka Khan.
And people need to stop. So yeah, Shaka is getting the musical excellence award in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. This is her 50th year, or last year was her 50th year. So anyway, in the industry, so that's a huge freaking opportunity. Sir Daniel, Cool Herc is being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
I don't know if it's because this is hip hop's 50th anniversary and that's like the hashtag and it's, that's news right now. whatever it took to get that man inducted, I'm glad somebody
Oh my God.
inducted him, because we just can't go any further without acknowledging this man. And I'm so glad that they've done this in his elder statesman
Yep.
life. I don't know much about how his health right now.
Mm-hmm.
There was a
It
time
was,
when it was
yeah.
reported that his health was a little dicey.
Mm-hmm.
I am so glad that he's still here to to witness this recognition,
Mm.
because all he did was he threw a party jam
Yep.
for his sister,
Yep.
DJing a party for
Back to
his
school.
sister, back to school, that turned into a whole culture that took over the world. So
Right.
shout out to that man. Salute Cool Herc
Mm-hmm.
and all the pioneers that came along with him. I'm so happy to see this. If I could be there in person, I definitely would. Q Points would definitely be in the building to have that
Yeah.
discussion.
Yeah. So big. One of the groups um that I was happy to see on the list, and we don't talk about enough. The Spinners are being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They used to, the Detroit Spinners, they from Detroit. These men, so many hits. I'm looking at the list. I'm actually probably going to play Sadie tonight. Sadie is one of the most beautiful
Mm,
songs you could ever hear.
a
But
tearjerker.
Tearjerker, you got the Rubber Band Man, you got I'll Be Around.
Listen, just the samples alone, these songs have been sampled like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that's another testament to your music.
Yeah.
Has it been sampled like crazy? For the Spinners, the answer is absolutely.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And to see them on the list brought me so much joy. Um oh, you know who else brought me joy on this list? There's two other people. Um George Michael.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Hands down. I know if you
we
listen to
talked about
However Comma, we
yeah.
talked about people being invited to the cookout. We gonna slide George Michael a plate.
Absolutely. Baby, he can have whatever he want on that. Like what you want, George?
He'll definitely get a plate. But yes, I'm like you. I was so happy to see. Sad that it's posthumous,
Yeah.
but he's really deserving of the honor, because George Michael really was that dude. The music still lives on to this day.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he's a part of our growing up. He was a part of that '80s scene of day glow and pop meeting R&B, soul. You
Yep.
know, he sang duets with Aretha Franklin and
Absolutely.
could hang with her. He sang
Uh-huh.
a duet with Whitney Houston, was hanging with her too. So
Yep.
George had to have some chops.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. And the songwriting, Sir Daniel, like
Mm,
these timeless songs that we get because of George Michael. If you go back and listen to our show about songs by non-black folks that black folks really love, we definitely talk about that. But so proud that he gets the nomination because he deserves it. Like that man wrote the hell out of some songs. And
absolutely.
one other person two other people who I'm really excited about. There's this artist by the name of Link Ray, who's
Mm.
actually him and Cool Herc are getting the same award. They're getting the Musical Influence Award. And Link Ray is this like crazy vocalist guitarist, really pre punk, proto punk, right? Was doing this crazy rock and roll in the 1950s. And I love his stuff. I actually have two Link Ray 45s behind me over here in the back. But he actually has a connection to black music history as well. If y'all go and listen to the Black Music mixtape on The Girl Can't Dance by Bunker Hill, which is also like a pre-punk, kind of a proto-punk song, sung by a black artist named David Walker, who was singing for the Mighty Clouds of Joy at the same time. But um, That song was produced by Link Ray and played by Link Ray's band. So
Mm.
that when you listen to The Girl Can't Dance by Bunker Hill, you are listening to Link Ray's band is backing him. So Link Ray was
Sweet.
really important as well in um, getting some black artists out there and rock and roll in this really different way. And lastly, I'm excited that our brother Don Cornelius is
Yes.
getting an honor.
Listen, the fact anybody that created a platform for young black people
Mm-hmm.
specifically,
Mm-hmm.
because let's be real about it, rock and roll in its inception is youth culture.
Yeah.
Youth culture, and the people that created it were
Mm-hmm.
black youth.
Yeah.
And the fact that early television programs really didn't cater to us, really
Yeah.
didn't feature us. You had your American bandstands, and of course you had your all the local television shows that had their sock hop television shows and whatnot. But there really was no place where that was, of course, pre-integration, and you
Yeah.
couldn't really have black kids dancing alongside with white kids.
Yep.
Here comes Don Cornelius and created Soul Train. I'm talking about generations long showcase of black talent
Yes.
and black culture, black youth being reflected back to them on television. Seeing people that look like you on television on Saturday morning doing a crossword puzzle, the mixed board puzzle, and doing the latest dances is kind of damn revolutionary
It
when you
is.
think about it, and it affects you. Like there's countless kids that sat home watching Soul Train that got the gumption and the nerve to say, you know what, I want to be on that show. I want to be a dancer. I want to be a part of the culture. People like our friends from Oaktown's 357.
Mm-hmm.
They watched Soul Train. Flex Alexander, all those people sat home, watched Soul Train, and became part of the culture at some point because they were influenced by that show. So he is truly deserving of this honor. Again,
Absolutely.
sad that it has to be posthumous and that he couldn't be around to see the honors. But again,
Mm,
mental health is a thing.
absolutely. Soul Train. Okay. Can we just take a second to talk about the enduring legacy of the Soul Train line? How that is cross cultural now. People do Soul
Absolutely.
Train lines all over the world.
Every single wedding.
Every single wedding. And the way that Soul Train lines connect people. So I ended up going to an event. This is several months ago, and it was a smaller event, a house party. But they played. They was starting to play some '70s funk. Baby, them young people. Baby, these are people way younger than you and I, Sir Daniel.
Mm-hmm.
Baby, they formed that Soul Train line, and I'm like, babies. These are babies forming Soul Train lines and dancing down the line with people that they don't know. That is beautiful community. And it was Soul Train. Like, thank you, Mr. Cornelius, for creating that platform because we still see the foundations in all the stuff we do today.
It endures forever, just like Q Points endures forever. I'm putting that out into the universe.
Yeah,
We are on the cusp of our 100th episode.
we
We
are.
are we are on the cusp of our 2-year anniversary, J Ray. That I'm gonna toot our horn. That takes a lot of dedication.
Mm-hmm.
It takes commitment, not just to the show, but we've committed to each other and
Yes.
to making this work. And so I really believe that we've gotten to this point because we both put the sweat equity into it, the money behind it, all of that
Yes.
kind of stuff. And we believe in ourselves, and thankfully you listener, you believed in us as well. because what we've done is we've taken a look at what you have downloaded the most
Mm-hmm.
out of our episodes, because
Yeah.
this way we can see, oh, y'all really mess with this episode,
Mm-hmm.
and we're just and right now we're just gonna go over like the top. How many we're looking at? Top three.
You can look at the top three. I think that'll be fun.
We're gonna look at the top three episodes that you downloaded the
Yeah.
most from Q points from inception to this day. So
Yeah.
what do we got, J Ray?
You know what's interesting about this too is this is a cross section. I never would have imagined. So when I tell you what it is, I would have imagined that these are the ones. Well, at least two of them. So
Okay.
our number three, we'll start with number three.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the show that we did on group breakdowns. So we focused on Drew Hill, we talked about In Vogue, we talked about Shalimar, talked about Salt and Pepper, because that was at the
Mm-hmm.
time when there was a lot of dust up with
Yeah.
Spin. And we did this show on epic group breakdowns and spent some time kind of we actually came up, Sir Daniel, you came up with kind of a rubric of here's what causes groups to break up. It's like money, ego. It
Yes.
was money, ego, substance abuse. Those were like the three big pillars.
Mm-hmm. Money, ego,
Uh,
substance abuse, and I think I also said love and sex.
Love and sex, you did, because it was like
Yeah.
outside entities. So
Mm-hmm.
these were, and so we went through this for each of these groups, and we identified, okay, here's what screwed them up. Um, and yeah, so this show is our third most downloaded show. It is show number 39. Uh,
I get why that was highly ranked, because we love drama,
we
we
do.
love mess, we love mess, and I think we the breakdown of groups
Mhm.
has become sensationalized to a point where it's like uh a thing. And I think it's almost a thing that people look forward to, because
Mm.
it gives platforms and media outlets fodder. It gives them something to talk about. And so I think people, as much as we love groups, I think we love drama as more. And we like the fact that we can build these groups up and then just wait for them to crumble.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You know, I'm thinking of the fact that we should honor and celebrate groups that made it through. De La
Mm,
Soul is a group that made it through.
yeah.
We never got the drama of so and so's not doing the record or da 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 da. If Dave had not passed away, we would get another De La Soul album with all three original members present. The only
Absolutely.
breakdown that we got from De La Soul is Prince Paul leaving as like the producer of the group. And he was
Hmm.
kind of like the fourth member, but
Hmm.
the core, you know, the plugs 1, 2, and 3 were there. So we should honor, for us, let's celebrate and shout out those groups that are still doing it, because it's so easy to get
I see what
to
you
get
did there.
lost.
I see what you did there. It's so easy.
It's
Okay.
so easy. I love that joint. Stakes is High. By the way, Stakes is High, I think, is out this Friday or next Friday. So I'm going to be getting the vinyl. I can't wait to own that. I've never owned it on vinyl. So I'm going to get the vinyl for De La Soul. Stakes is High
This is
is
high.
on his way
Wow.
out. But so that was number three.
Hmm.
Number two, our friend of the show, who is having a great year. I'm going to make an announcement here that we haven't even made. No, by the time people see this show, it will have been, the announcement will have been made. But Kipper Jones came
Ah.
for his second visit and did a conversation with us just about his life, where he was at the moment, and that is our second most popular show. People have also commented time and time again. Even Big Mike said that. Big Mike was like, "Yo, that Kipper Jones show." Dr.
Mm.
Ed Garnes was like, "That Kipper Jones show like laid me out." Um,
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. That is, and I know why. It's just when it all boils down to it, just the humanity of it all,
mhm,
and the fact that the sheer bravery
mhm,
of Kipper just being completely transparent
mhm,
and sharing his history and his health scares. All of that stuff is, you know, people are dealing with things that we just don't know on a daily basis. A lot of people are dealing with some of the same things,
mhm,
and we just don't know that they're dealing with them. And for that was probably very healing for somebody. And I think I may have said that during the show,
mhm,
is that he's healed people by talking about this on our show.
mhm.
And so I get it. I can see that episode is probably, and again, I'll toot our horns on this one. That episode can probably be shared in classrooms,
Yeah.
in professional organizations that train people to deal with people who are diagnosed with cancer,
Mhm,
HIV, all
mhm.
types of things.
Yep.
So, yeah, I get it. We
Yeah.
You did that, J Ray. You ate that. You ate that.
We ate that, Sir
We
Daniel.
ate
That was, and thank
that.
you to Kipper. So there's two things that I want to mention that are so dope. So, Kipper's Ordinary Story was
Mm-hmm.
re-released this year,
Yes.
and it is doing very well. People have really been responding to it. Um,
Nice.
in particular, his cover of Footsteps in the Dark, which is a whole banger. Um, that is going to be a song that we are going to be focused on in a little bit. But the other thing that has happened with Kipper, and we want to send him some love, is Respect Yourself, the Music of a Movement, won 2 awards. So, Respect Yourself, the Music of a Movement won the Award of Excellence at the Communicator Awards for live performance. It
Nice.
also won the Award of Distinction at the Communicator Awards, I think, for live streamed event.
Okay.
So yeah, this is hot off the presses. This We got the email yesterday, and this is so big.
Kipper out here doing the damn thing.
So yeah, so send Kipper Jones some love. He's out here winning awards, getting albums re-released, and also, to your point, Sir Daniel, saving some lives with continuing to tell his story and honor his truth. So yeah, so that was number two.
Okay.
And our number one, this surprised, I didn't see it coming. I was like, okay. Our number one show
Mm-hmm.
is the Slow Jams and the Quiet Storm show.
Get out of here.
Yep. We went,
Huh.
yeah, we had a whole conversation, y'all. Y'all, for those that tuned in for that show, you may remember we had some discussions about kind of our favorite slow jams.
Mm-hmm.
We did our countdown. We probably have to bring out the countdown because I don't remember what we both counted down. But we counted down our favorite slow jams, but then we talked about the kind of the Quiet Storm format and
Right.
all of that. But yeah, people really like that. And I'm going to tell you where people really got into it. So the highest place where people check this one out is on Pandora. No, they don't
Huh.
listen nowhere else. Do people really check us out on Pandora except for this particular show? It's very interesting.
Hmm. I would love to know the inner workings of that or how that works. But
Yeah,
that's awesome.
yeah.
That's awesome. I love that show because we got to pay homage to the king of the quiet storm. His name
Oh, Melvin Lindsay.
Melvin Lindsay. We got to pay homage to Melvin Lindsay, a true radio icon.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, created the quiet storm format. And then we got to talk about the need for slow jams, the need for
The
R&B
importance.
music,
Yep.
the importance of it, the importance of slow dancing,
Mm-hmm.
because we have, we have people, groups like Slow Drag here in Atlanta that actually put on parties that are dedicated to the closeness, the intimacy that these songs produce and create in our community. And I think probably because we miss it. Maybe that's why people got into the shows, because they miss that. They miss that aspect of community, was the slow jams, was turning on the blue lights in the basement.
Yeah.
And God knows that's how most of us, you two listener, the reason why you probably sitting there listening right now is because your parents went to a blue lights in the basement party and was slow
Yep.
necking,
Yep.
necking in the corner while y'all, after y'all
Yep.
was slow jamming, slow grinding and whatnot, and boom, here you are. And a lot of us, there's just, that doesn't happen anymore.
No, Sir Daniel, there is an entire generation that don't even know what that is.
Mm-mm.
Can there was some we talked about this in that show, I believe, where um there's lessons that you get from slow dancing. It teaches consent, right? Because you have to
Mm.
approach someone. You have to get up some nerve, because it do take
It
nerve,
do take nerve, right?
as they did on Paris is Burning. You had to get up the nerve to walk over to someone that you like, that you may or
Mm-hmm.
may not know, and say, "Do you want to do this thing to this song with me? We gonna be
Yep.
real close." That teaches you so many, one, how to deal with rejection, how it doesn't work out all the
Mm.
time, and that's
Yeah.
okay. Sometimes you go over there, you don't get the opportunity, you got to go back to the corner where you was at, or you try again, right, with someone else. But there is literally an entire generation, because that's not the way stuff is set up today, where they don't get a chance to do that.
The music is not conducive to it, and what is considered, there's a category of slow jams that is, just throws all of that other stuff out the window, like consent. It's not
Right.
really romantic.
Uh-huh.
Some of the language. Now, here's the thing. I think what a lot of um performers, artists can take a lesson on is, you can be lewd, you could be lascivious, but there's a way to do it.
Yeah.
Um, Marvin Gaye, all them people can be downright filthy on some of these records, but it's the way they said it, the way they
Yes.
delivered it. There's something about a double entendre that could be sexy and you can still get away with it on the radio. And like, I could play some of those records today and grandmothers will dance to it and not bat an eye to some of the
Yep.
language or anything. Like, the stuff that some people are putting out 5 years from now, like, grandparents aren't going to want to hear that.
No. Whereas
They're not.
today in 2023, I'm sorry, Sir Daniel, I cut you off.
No,
I'm
you're
so
fine.
sorry. I
You're
got so
good.
excited. But today in 2023, we're still listening to "You Are My Starship," which is a very, 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 like, that song. When I heard it as an adult, I was like, "Ooh, I know what he's
and,
talking about."
and don't you come too
Too
late.
soon. Yeah.
Oh, too soon. That's right. Don't you come too
Baby,
soon.
letting you know, like, don't.
Hey, this has to last. Make it last forever and ever.
Whenever. Shout out to Jackie McGee. By the way, her debut album is being re-released too, so we need to look out for.
Sweet Jackie
Yeah.
McGee. Loved her.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, those are our top 3 shows up to this point of all time.
Thank you,
Um,
listener.
Thank y'all so much and those are just listens, right? That doesn't
Yeah.
count the shows that y'all have watched. That doesn't count all these other ways that y'all show us love. And yeah, I mean, here we go, Sir Daniel. We are 2.
the terrific twos. Ain't nothing terrible about us. The terrific
Exactly.
twos. We doing this. We got this. And again, I've said this on the show before. I'm blessed and grateful to for my purpose partner to be J
Hmm.
Ray in this journey for Q Points podcast. So this is going to be astounding. J Ray, I think the listeners, the viewers, you're going to be surprised. We have some surprise videos that are coming
Yeah,
your way for next week. You know,
we
some
do.
shout outs. So I'm surprised. I'm excited about that.
Yep.
And we have a great show for next week.
Yeah, we
The
talking
following
about
week,
Bob Marley.
Bob Marley. You know, next week, May 11th marks the
Hmm.
day that he passed away.
Hmm.
But to this day, you know, Bob Marley is still one of those giants that looms real heavy in the music industry and the culture.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to show him some love on Q Points, which is what we always do.
absolutely, y'all. So, um, thank you all for joining us. Make sure that wherever you are watching the show or listening to the show, that you subscribe, and make sure that you share it with people that you love. We really appreciate it. It really does help us to spread the word about the stuff that we are doing. And you can also join Q Points. You can become a member by visiting our website and clicking the subscribe button. It gives you access to all of our archives, and you can buy some merch from the store. We appreciate y'all so much.
For sure. Well, J Ray, what do I always say? In this life, you have a choice. You can either pick up the needle or you can let the record play. I am DJ Sir Daniel,
My name is J Ray, y'all.
and this has been Q Points Podcast, dropping the needle on Black music history. We will see you on the next go round.
See y'all.
Peace.